Cinema Classics is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
The award-winning Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org. I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
I'm John DeSando.
This is Cinema Classics.
Great loss.
Potentially.
Daniel Day-Lewis has quit the biz.
Yeah. Boy, this was a few weeks ago, right? Daniel Day-Lewis announces his retirement from screen acting or all of acting.
Well, I think it's all. It's supposedly to go to spend more time with his family.
Okay.
And he never particularly liked it anyway, I don't think.
Well, you know, his output isn't so prolific that,
God.
you know, some movie nerds like ourselves will miss him. But I think the rest of the movie going public won't notice.
Do you know who will be really happy? Other actors.
Yeah.
He's won three Oscars.
Yeah.
The only one to win 3. And every time he goes to a movie, he's at least nominated.
So one of the things Summer Sterud asked me about, you know, when this happened, I was like, I saw that announcement. I was like, Daniel Day-Lewis is retiring, you know. She was like, why do you care about that? What is the big deal? You know, to some people on the outside, they want to know, why is this guy such a big deal? Apart from, okay, he's a great actor. It'd be like saying Meryl Streep is retiring.
Right.
However, Meryl Streep does, you know, put out quite a few movies every year or two. You can bank on seeing her in something. So, what is it about Daniel Day-Lewis that's so special?
Well, I think he's the consummate method actor. As you know, he completely sheds his own persona in order to become an actor, to become the person he's playing. In Last of the Mohicans, he learned how to skin animals, build a canoe. In Last of the Mohicans, he learned how to skin animals, build a canoe, carry it around a musket even to a Christmas party. The guy gets completely into it.
Right.
And it shows on the screen. Now, for me, to Summer, you might say, to see consummate acting, not just good acting, but really great acting, brings me almost to tears. And that is what I'll miss. It's not the quantity. The quality is just...
Yeah, you know, he has chosen these roles over the years that are 180 degrees from the one that precedes it.
Oh, jeez.
So you mentioned Last of the Mohicans, in which he was running through the, you know, West Virginia forests and up mountains, and it's an incredibly physical role.
Yeah.
The role before that, My Left Foot.
Yeah, you can.
Where he was constrained to that wheelchair and twisted up, you know.
Stayed in the wheelchair the whole time.
Yeah.
They fed him. The crew fed him. He wouldn't even. He just didn't leave his wheelchair.
You know, you can just think back on that. You can see him. When you think back on his performance of that movie, you almost feel it, like physically. You know, like, oh, my neck starts to hurt thinking about it. After that, he did some other things. You know, he played the IRA. What was the movie? In the Name of the Father.
Right. You know? And also, the boxer was an IRA related.
They say that he trained so hard.
2 years.
To become
boxed every day.
He could have went professional. They say. The legend says.
I know, but even so, it's just.
I mean, they said that about De Niro too in Raging Bull.
I loved him in 2005 in The Ballad of Jack and Rose.
Yeah,
in which he played kind of an effete father. Oh, I mean,
it's one of the few Daniel Day-Lewis movies, if only, one of the only Daniel Day-Lewis movies I've never seen.
Yeah, his father and daughter on a kind of remote island, and pushing the rest of the world away. Questionable, their relationship.
Okay.
But it's just that kind of a finicky movie that he could play a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Jack and me.
I remember seeing The Crucible in theaters when it came out. And, you know, not that the movie was so great. It's a good movie.
Right.
And it has, who's the guy in it? The villain? You know?
Which one are we talking about?
Paul Scofield. Oh, I got it.
Okay. Crucible.
Yeah, The Crucible. It has Paul Scofield in it. Great, you know, acting film. And at the end of the movie, you recall it's based on the Arthur Miller play, right? Daniel Day-Lewis's monologue at the end of the film, where he won't sign the confession, and he says, "Because it's my name, and it's the only one I have." I was so moved at that moment by his acting that I sat there and watched the movie again. The only time I've ever done that.
Wow.
And it wasn't because, as I said, the movie was so phenomenal.
Got it.
It was because he was such a force.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And of course, Gangs of New York.
Yeah, you know,
The great villain.
for that, you know what's so interesting about that?
Yeah.
And that's Scorsese, and he plays the butcher.
Mm-hmm. Bill the Butcher.
Bill the Butcher, he would go out into the streets and start fights.
Is
Just
that
so
right?
he could get into that gritty
Is that true?
role. And I wanted to mention again
Because
that
I wouldn't think Daniel. Well, I guess he trained boxing all that time. So
I did
he
want to
could
mention
acquit
about
himself
that
nicely.
Ballad of Jack and Rose.
Yeah.
That I believe it was directed by Arthur Miller's daughter, whom he married.
That's right. That's right. Rebecca Miller.
Yeah, yeah. Just a kind of interesting life that he had. In addition to which, as we know, he took off, I don't know how long, a year or two, to become a cobbler.
Yeah, right. I think it was 3 years. I think he took 3 years off and learned how to make shoes.
And he also took a long time off to do woodworking, and he could have made a living out of this. This guy is just, you know.
Yeah, and so rarely does interviews.
Oh,
But I want to jump back to Gangs of New York.
Yes.
Because for those people who haven't seen it, the movie is a big, sprawling, sometimes messy affair, hobbled mostly by its miscasting, I think, of Cameron Diaz. And though Leonardo DiCaprio is a great actor, this was at a time when his face just was a
he
little
wasn't
too
mature enough.
Yeah, he wasn't mature enough for it. Didn't seem tough enough for this. Definitely not the Revenant DiCaprio. But it is a movie worth seeing, if only because Daniel Day-Lewis is so physically intensely menacing throughout. You never know what is going to happen.
Yeah.
If he's going to lurch into some
Yeah,
brutality or spring into
very
kind of violent
unpredictable.
action. And the scene where Leo wakes up in bed, he wakes up in the morning, and sitting at the foot of his bed is Bill the Butcher with another powerhouse monologue that I would say surpasses Alec Baldwin's monologue in Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, I dug out a quote especially for you from Daniel Day-Lewis about his acting. Which
All right.
is, you know, Summers got the right question, why? And I think we're trying to answer that. Here's what he said: I used to go to all-night screenings of Clint Eastwood movies. I'd stagger out at 5 in the morning trying to be loose-limbed and mean and taciturn. How about that? He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the other one, not to bore you with quotes, but this is what he says about his own acting, which will be no surprise to people who understand method acting. But this is what he says in his own analysis. I'm woefully one-track minded. Without sounding unhinged, I know I'm not Abraham Lincoln. I'm aware of that. But the truth is the entire game is about creating an illusion. And for whatever reason, and mad as it may sound, some part of me can allow myself to believe for a period for time without questioning. And that's the trick. Maybe it's a horrible revelation about myself that one does feel able to do that. He just sheds and becomes.
Yeah, and he puts all these, protective layers over him. Like you mentioned the crew members feeding him on the set of My Left Foot. The myth goes to the legend goes when he's playing Lincoln that he would only respond to Mr. President or whatever.
Right.
Although some other things kind of leak into the myth to complicate a little bit. Like he would send text messages as Lincoln. Now clearly Lincoln had no access to a smartphone. So I wonder how much of this is him playing around, or just making it convenient to his performance. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
clearly the guy isn't, you know, writing with a quill pen.
No. You know, it probably was meant by the gods that he'd be one of the greatest actors of our time. His father was C. Day Lewis.
Cecil,
And-
right?
Yep, Cecil
Poet.
C. Day Lewis, right? He was the poet laureate of England.
Yeah.
And you know, so just take a look at his genes then, and what preparation he has for that. Then bring whatever he is, whatever that part of Marlon Brando that he brings
Mm-hmm.
to himself. Here he is, an actor whom I'm gonna miss.
Yeah, let's not wrap up yet.
All right,
Because I
could
want
you feel that coming?
I could feel your segue. You're going to have to hold off for a minute. Because I got one more question. You know, we've talked about how intensely he gets into the roles.
Yes,
I think we've talked about his intensity.
yes,
You know, whether it's playing someone with cerebral palsy or a physical specimen like he is in The Boxer.
all right. Let's not forget Unbearable Lightness of Being.
Oh, Unbearable
He plays
Lightness.
the sexy surgeon.
Yeah. What a great movie.
I
What
know.
an underrated movie that is.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. So variety.
and let's see. So, and There Will Be Blood. Everybody loves that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those who have seen it.
Yes.
But still, beyond the intensity, what makes him such a great actor?
Um,
Because I think we're just dancing around a little bit.
Well, you know, knowing that I have done a little bit of my research on this, Sir John Gielgud said about him.
Wow.
How about this, huh?
Yeah.
Have I got it or not? Let me look. Yeah. John Gielgud said he had what every actor in Hollywood wants. Let me do that again. Sir John Gielgud said Sir John Gielgud said that he had what every actor in Hollywood wants, talent, and what every actor in England wants, looks. But I don't know. You mean,
I don't know. It's more than intensity, right? I mean, it's the choices he makes, and not just in terms of his, you know, sometimes the movies aren't as good as Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh,
you know,
right.
Gangs of New York is probably the perfect example of that, where, you know, sometimes his performances are much greater than the actual film. And I'm thinking of movies like The Boxer.
Yeah.
And In the Name of the Father. And let's not forget, he made a little movie called Nine.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a musical that tanked.
Oh,
No one knows about that one.
Right. Yeah, in 2009. And he played a director.
It was supposed to be like
Marion
unofficial.
Cotillard.
It had something to do with Fellini's 8.5. Like
It very much like that, yes. The director with all these parts of his life, including his mistresses and all that. Yeah, I don't know, other than that I know when he's on screen, I can't take my eyes off him. Not unlike when a Tom Hardy's on the screen, can't take my eyes off of him. And there I think is an actor who can't go nose to nose, but who is one of our premier
Well,
actors.
you're right. Tom Hardy is an intense screen presence, but he lacks the humanity of Daniel Day-Lewis.
There it is.
You're right. You know, Tom Hardy will probably never be able to play parts like that because he just has a coarseness to him that I don't know that he can shed.
I think you're right. Well, as soon as we end the show, let's call Day-Lewis and ask him if he won't reconsider.
Or let's since he's on a sabbatical, maybe we can ask him to appear on the show or make us a pair of shoes even.